Oh, hi there. It's been a little while since I made a video last, and the reason for that is that I have been a little bit busy. I have been creating something new, something that has been a long time coming. And I had an idea 2 years ago. So the seasons here in Sweden are so very present. Like you can see, the weather here it's very misty, moody kind of weather. It's December, and usually I would say that this is more November weather, but apparently it can happen in December as well. So yeah, I had an idea that since the seasons affect me so much in so many areas, I find that my mood is affected by it, my energy, my inspiration, why not my creativity? So I started thinking about how the seasons affected me and my creativity, and what if we, instead of just trying to smooth out the effect that the seasons have on us, actually plan to do our creative work very much in tune with the seasons, and how can we do that? So I had that idea and I put it out on Instagram to see if anyone else thought it would be interesting to see this. And I got a really good response. Many said that it would be something that they would be interested in seeing, how the seasons affect our creativity and what we can do to create more in harmony with that. So I then did a survey during a year with other creatives. So I asked people at the end of every season how the season had been for them, what they had created, what they had been inspired by, and if it had been a productive season or not. And from that survey, I started seeing patterns in how the seasons affect us and our creativity, and I started to shape a way of viewing the year from a creative perspective. And during this year, I have tried out that process for myself to plan my creative work in tune with the seasons, and I have loved it. So during these past weeks, I have done the finishing touches of a new planning guide, a guide to plan your creative work in tune with the seasons. It's called 4 Seasons of Creative Work. So that's what I've been up to, and today I thought I would tell you a little bit about how the seasons affect our creativity in general for creatives, and how we can plan as goals to work in tune with that. So let's do it in this very moody kind of weather that we have here today. Okay, let's sit here and talk a little bit about the seasons. So traditionally we always start our year in January when the new year begins. But if we look at the seasons, so that's in the middle of winter, and winter is very much about hibernation. The nature is resting, and it's not really nature-wise a natural start. So what I found is that spring is really the seasonal start. That it makes sense, right? It's when everything wakens up. So spring is the season of awakening. So that is when we get new energy after a long winter. Everything starts to wake up. New things sprout, things come to life again after having rested for many months. And so does also our creativity. We get new ideas, we get fresh energy for projects that maybe have gone a little stale, and things start to feel a little bit more possible again. If winter has been a little bit of a drag maybe for some people, or you have been a little bit low on energy, spring is that sense of, okay, let's do this, we have new energy, new ideas. So for spring, it's good to either try to focus on projects where you feel like you've gotten a little bit stuck and you want to sort of get new energy into it, or to do some creative work that either a completely new project to begin something, or something where you need to have many different ideas. For example, photography or writing blog posts or things like that, where you really need to have many different ideas. That is something that's good in spring. And my spring this year, obviously this was the spring when Corona hit, so it's a little bit of a weird spring. But I was just a month or so into my creative business, so my spring was very much focused on trying to find my feet, figure out what I was doing, what I needed to focus on. I was trying different things. So yeah, that was my spring, apart from dealing with with the Corona hitting, of course. And then we go into, so spring is a quite productive season. Many find it that it's productive season with new energy. We feel really inspired, maybe to the point where we push ourselves a little bit too hard if we don't pace ourselves. And then we move into summer, which is the season to release. So summer is often the season when everything is a little bit different from how it is normally. We go on holidays, obviously maybe not this year, but those with kids. The kids are staying home. If you're at university, you maybe have some months off from that. Life usually is a little bit different in summer, which means that we release what we are usually doing to some degree. Many take breaks from, for example, posting on Instagram or maybe here on YouTube, or take breaks from podcasts. So we usually release a little bit of our usual habits, and we want a little bit more freedom and flexibility during summer. So summer is a really good season to take a step back from the things you're usually doing during the year, whether it's to keep up with a blog or a podcast or Instagram or something like that. Or it's a great season to, let's say if you have a job, you're usually quite busy during the year, and maybe summer is the season when everything is a little bit calmer. You have your vacation, and in that case it can be a really good season to focus on the creative project. I have many summers this past few years focused on my novel a lot in the summers. This summer as well, I essentially finished my novel, apart from a little bit of work that I did in September as well. And my summer was also when I started this YouTube channel. So in this process of releasing what we're usually doing, we can also take a step back and see, okay, what are we missing? What are we inspired to do? So summer can be a season when we actually also begin things because we see that something is missing, or we quit doing things that we have been doing for some time. So this is a little bit of a season when we question things. And then we move into autumn, and autumn is a season that many creatives say that they love. I love autumn as well. It's a quite introspective season, but introspective in a productive way, so to speak. It has energy just like spring, and it's also a quite productive season. So spring and autumn are the most productive seasons, but the energy is different. If spring is very bubbly, autumn is much more focused. So in autumn we go deeper, we deepen. We often explore our creative work a little bit deeper. We are maybe not starting new projects, but rather finishing or going deeper into projects, really trying to bring them to life the way we want to. So that season is really good for actually doing the work. If we began something back in spring or were really inspired and have many different ideas, autumn is when we sort of zone in and focus in and get really deep into what we're doing. So my autumn has been very much like that. I have focused very much on the foundation of my creative business. So I've been exploring how my coaching methods look, what it is I really do, how I'm really best at helping creatives in my coaching. And I've also created a new freebie that you get if you sign up to my newsletter. That's called Your Next Step. And I've also focused on finishing 4 seasons of creative work. So I've been really focused on doing the work this autumn. And then we come to winter. where we are now. And winter is the season that holds both our end of the year reflections, and we set new goals for the new year. So winter is very much a season of reflection. And I think sometimes that we expect, since January and that new year energy that we get, and we do get that, many of us do get that, I get that. I think we often expect ourselves to kick the new year off really strong and like just push in and run into the new year. And I think that energy lasts for a while in January, but other than that, I don't think that winter is a very productive season for many of us. If other seasons can be a little bit distracting, things happening, you want to be outside, you want to do things, winter can be a little bit more narrow. You come home, you are spending much time at home. Obviously this year we are always spending much time at home, but in usual years. So we come back, we focus in, and in that sense it can be a quite productive season because we have space for our creative work and the focus and the calm to just do it. But it can also be a season that is good to, like we do in the end of the year, we step back, we think about, okay, what was this year? Did I get to where I wanted to? Or is there something that I really want to focus on in the next year? What are my goals for next year? So we are in this really reflective mindset, and yeah. So for my winter, I am planning to, of course, do all of these end of the year, new year plannings. But other than that, I am going to try to not start anything new. I'm not going to work on any big projects. I really just want to focus on the core of everything I do. So the blog, this YouTube channel, be really present on Instagram. I feel like with summer I was finishing my novel, I was starting this YouTube channel, so I was a little bit distracted. And during autumn I was really focused on getting a couple of things done and going deeper into things. And now during winter, I just really want to be present in the base work that I do in my creative business. So creating content and being present and doing those kind of nice things. I really long for that. So yeah, that is the seasonal year. I never know which way I'm going to draw these circles when I'm filming. But we start with spring, awakening, we go into summer, we release a little bit, we go into autumn, we deepen, and then we end with the winter and reflect. And then it starts over again. So that is the seasonal year that I've found and created in tune with, and I've found that it's very lovely to do it that way. So what do we do then when we know this about the seasons? When we know what they're good for, how can we plan in tune with that? And also have it to be work that is bringing us closer to what we want for us to reach our creative goals that we have. Well, I suggest that you start with a yearly goal, something that you really want to achieve or accomplish or do in a year. And then you think about, okay, so what is the work that is going to take to get me to that point? What is the different things that I have to do and create and explore to reach your creative goal? From that, you then divide that up into different focus areas. So usually it's not just one thing that you have to do, it's usually a couple of different things. So if you, for example, are setting up an Etsy shop, it might be both to create the things that you're going to have in your shop, to research Etsy and Etsy SEO, and maybe also you have an Instagram that is going to go with the Etsy shop that you want to build up and sort of establish how you want it to look. So that are different focus areas, and then you use those focus areas to see where you're going to do, what you're going to do more of in different seasons. So what kind of work are best for you in the different seasons, and how can you choose different focus areas for different seasons so that you do more of that in the season where it fits best. So yeah, that is the process that I have outlined in 4 Seasons of Creative Work, the planning guide that I have created. And it's worked really well for me this year, and I hope it will for everyone who has bought it already, and for you too, if you decide to get it. Okay, so that is all that I wanted to share today. It is so gloomy and dark here now. It's almost 3 o'clock, which is pretty much when the sun disappears. Apart from already being hidden behind clouds, I mean. So I am gonna head home, get cozy, make myself a cup of tea, and have a really nice rest of the day. And I hope you will too. And yeah, have a nice winter. Though I will upload more videos, I promise. So yeah, have a great day. Hit like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Gud. People, they're walking past.